On the 5th of January, Charlton were playing in the third round of the FA Cup, having been drawn at home to league newcomers Barnet. The North Londoners were hoping to top their first season in the 4th Division with a good cup run, and came to Upton Park intending to perform a feat of giant killing. Once again, our commentator for the match is Steve Dixon.
The cup tie atmosphere returns to Upton Park just 24 hours after West Ham took on Farnborough for this afternoon's game between Charlton Athletic and Barnet. Looking at the two sides, looking first at the Charlton side, one or two changes from the team that won at Derby last weekend. Anthony Barnes retains his place at left back in place of the injured Scott Minso. Scott, of course, went off in the first half against Ipswich on Boxing Day. John Bumstead at number 8 there, he passed a fitness test at 11 o'clock this morning to take his place in the Charlton midfield. And also in the Charlton midfield we've got Paul Bacon returning to the Charlton lineup for the first time in around about 3 months. Paul Bacon coming in because Chris Wilder has gone back to Sheffield United and because Alan Pardew is suspended. Looking across at the Barnet lineup, one or two players also to note in the Barnet 11. Andy Pate, the goalkeeper there, had a loan spell with Charlton some 12 years ago. And number 6, Duncan Horton, actually made a league appearance for the Addicts back in 1985. Two men to look out for of note in the Barnet lineup, number 8 and number 9, Mark Carter and Gary Bull. Plenty of goals already this season for that pair, and Charlton will have to look after them this afternoon. Referee Philip Don from Middlesex gets us underway. Barnet's attacking from left to right, amber shirts, black shorts, black shots. Charlton attacking the south bank end, defending the north bank end. Charlton wearing their familiar colours, red shirts, white shorts and red socks. An early touch to Steve Gatting, who'll have to work fast here with Webster. Now with Barnet, a lovely turn from Barnet, and that's too short from Barnet, intercepted by Paul, but this should run out for a goal kick. And Barnet sending both Howell and Bodley forward to the far side of the penalty area. Gary Paul with the free kick, he's some 35 yards from goal, it might be within striking distance. Instead he goes to the chip to the far post. Webster gets the header. Oh, it's a great shot! And that was only a whisker away from Kenny Lowe. That looked for all the world from this angle as if it was going to sail into the top corner. And Charlton would have been stunned had that crept in. Leeburn to take the throw. That's a signal for Simon Webster to step up from the back. Webster with a long throw. Webster indeed the target. It'll fall for Colin Walsh. Walsh hooks a shot in. Andy Pate will gather that easily. Once again, Nelson, rather Leeburn tussling with Howells. That's a good ball down the line for Walsh. Walsh gets it across. Bodley steps in front of Nelson. And now Bodley will have to get the ball away. Only as far as Walsh. Robert Lee's in the area. What can Robert Lee do now? On his left foot. He turns on the way to his right. Robert Lee can get a shot in here. Good save from Andy Pate. Halfway through the first half here at Upton Park. Charlton Athletic of the 2nd Division, 0. Barnet of the 4th Division, 0. That's a good try coming in from Robert Lee, and I think one or two people in the west stand there thought that might have dipped under the crossbar. Andy Pate watched it all the way and watched it over the bar. Webster, good header forward. Lee towards Leeburn. Bodley steps in and Bodley goes away from 2 Charlton players. Here's Gary Paul. He's got Wilson outside him. He's not going to need him. The ball comes in towards Carter. Pitcher heads it away. Low with a shot. It's going to bounce to Mark Carter. And Mark Carter has scored for Barnet. And the 4th Division side are in front here at West Ham. Mark Carter from 15 yards. The ball bounced rather like a pinball table in the penalty area. It fell to Mark Carter. And the Barnet fans celebrate as Carter sends a drive past Bob Boulder's left hand. And Charlton are a goal behind after 30 minutes. Charlton have got plenty of men forward. Barnet are out quickly. It's fallen to Steve Gatting. Gatting with a chance for Charlton. And Gatting equalises for Charlton. Steve Gatting scores as the Barnet offside trap fails to work. And Charlton are back in the game at level pegging. All 11 players are in the last third of the field for Charlton. In fact, there's only 3 or 4 players outside the penalty area. Paul chips it forward. And, oh, and that's so close from David Howell. And although Charlton had plenty of men back, they still didn't pick up David Howell. And they really have to be very, very careful indeed, because Barnet are a very dangerous side going forward. Now he's got it from Leeburn. Gets in front of David Howell. Leeburn being held. Oh, he's got the ball through and across, and there's a chance for Bumstead. No! And it's away by Duncan Horton. Excellent play from Carl Leeburn there. Nelson gets a flick on, and Robert Lee's away now on the right-hand side. Bodley, as ever, gets there to close him down. Lee goes round the outside. Leeburn with a header! Leeburn scores for Charlton! Carl Leeburn's 8th goal of the season, and that's a super goal for Charlton. A great header from Carl Leeburn, but credit must go to Gary Nelson and Robert Lee, who fashioned the chance. But when the ball came across, Carl Leeburn made no mistake with the header, and Charlton lead 2-1. Now, Paul Wilson with the free kick. Howell on the far side of the area. Howell is the target. Howell wins the header at the far post. Oh, what a great save from Bob Boulder, and that would have been an own goal. In fact, it was Steve Gatting under pressure there from Mark Carter, who very nearly scored at both ends. And Howell with an effort on goal, and Boulder saves again. Robert Lee with time to turn. Here's Leeburn stretching. Leeburn still in possession. Now it's to Darren Pitcher. He's looking for Nelson. Nelson, can he get Bruce and Louis? He can't, but it's come out to Darren Pitcher. Darren Pitcher's got to move quickly. He's got Gary Ball right behind him. Come out to Leeburn. Leeburn with Pitcher in support. Lead inside. Lee looking to get away from Bodley. He's done so. The cross coming in at the far post. Walsh with a header over the bar from Colin Walsh. Here's Darren Pitcher looking for Leeburn down the line. Leeburn might get there in front of Bodley. Leeburn is going away from Bodley. Carl Leeburn got a player square. It's Nelson. Now for Paul Baker with the shots. Oh, and Charlton wasted a glorious opportunity there. Oh, and Barnet have got players spare here. One of them's Gary Paul on the right-hand side. The cross comes in from Paul. There's a man at the far post, and it's going to be a goal, surely. It's off the line. Where will it end up? It's got everywhere. I can't believe it. There's an absolute scramble. And in all honesty, Barnet really should have equalised. Here's Lee. Pitcher is still outside. Lee wants to take them all on, and Lee is taking them all on. Kim Grant. 3-1 to Charlton. Kim Grant scores, and that just about wraps it up for Charlton this afternoon. 78 minutes gone. Kim Grant almost with his first touch since coming on. Celebrates in style, and that is 3-1 to Charlton. First touch from greeted by the Charlton fans. Lee gets away from Jeff Cooper, who wanted to swap shirts a little early. Ball across. Leeburn with a chance. Oh dear. Leeburn puts it into the north bank. Carl Leeburn's never scored twice in the same game. There really would have been a cause for celebration. Jeff Cooper with the free kick. Far post. Away at the second attempt from Grit, and now Kim Grant is absolutely clean through. Kim Grant with a run on goal. 1-on-1 for Kim Grant. He's got Robert Lee square. Oh dear. Very strange atmosphere at the moment here at Upton Park. We've had 3.5 minutes of injury time. Charlton with a 3-1 lead. And indeed, there is the final whistle. Charlton Athletic will go into the hat for the 4th round of the FA Cup. For an hour, Barnet were Charlton's equals. They certainly didn't disgrace themselves. But when Leeburn headed Charlton in front after 66 minutes, and Kim Grant made it 3 after 79, there really was only one winner. The final score here at Upton Park, after a fine FA Cup tie, Charlton Athletic 3, Barnet 1.
After the match, Steve Dixon asked Robert Lee if he'd found Barnet a tough side to play against.
Yes, Barnet came here. They played very well, I thought. They're an attacking team, but we handled them well, and we got the result we deserved.
for an hour it was a very close game, wasn't it?
Yes, they scored a good goal in the first half. It was a lucky ricochet, but he put it away well. Steve Gatton got a very good goal for us, and second half it could have been anybody's.
Did you ever feel, I mean, especially with Barnet going in front, that the game might slip away from you?
No, not really. I think overall it was on top of them. We could have scored at any time. I think we played well. It was a tough side. Barnet were a good side, and we done well to get the result.
Carl Leeburn, fresh from his second goal in 2 games, also shared his thoughts on the match.
Carl, another goal today, you must be well pleased.
Yep, I wasn't too pleased with my first half performance, but the second half I got into it a bit more and luckily scored a goal.
Did you go with the one last week against Peter Charlton as well? You must be well pleased.
Yeah, I was well pleased with that up there, especially in the first full game back after being out for a while, so I was well pleased.
When you went into the game today, I mean, did you feel that Barnet, as obviously is a good attacking side in the 4th division, would cause you any problems?
Well, you know, Pitt say they're 4th division side, so we should get through easy, but, you know, they ain't an easy team to play against. They work hard, they commit a lot of people forward. I think in the end there they had about 5 people forward, you know, so they're going to get a lot of chances. And we knew they was like that. We just had to combat it and be professional, and we knew the longer the game went on, we knew if we kept working hard, we'd get the goals.
They seemed to tire just before the end, didn't they?
Yeah, you know, the pitch was quite heavy. West Ham played on it yesterday, so, you know, people's legs were going to get tired, and it went on like that.
And of course, the classic FA Cup question, who do you fancy in the 4th round?
Oh, I don't know. I like big games, so hopefully we get one of the big teams, eh?
And beat them?
Yeah, of course.
Steve Dixon also spoke to coach Steve Gritt, who came on as sub for Charlton in the second half.
Steve, are you pleased with that result?
Oh, of course I've got to be pleased. It's just nice to get into the next round.
They came and they came at us, Barnet, didn't they?
Yes, we knew what to expect from them. Alan's seen them play twice. I saw them on New Year's Day. We knew what they were very capable of doing, which I think they proved second half. They do get men forward and get men in the box, and they're quite capable of scoring goals, which we knew was going to be the danger. But we had to make sure we were well prepared for the game and that we didn't take them too lightly.
They looked, you know, on a par with many of the second division sides we played this year.
They do play football. To their credit, I mean, they're not going to try and bash their way out of the 4th division. They do try and play football, which I think is a lot to their credit.
And even when it was 2-1, Bob had to make 1 or 2 very good saves, didn't he?
Yes, I think mainly because they put the other sub on as well. They did get a lot of bodies forward, a lot of men in the box. They did get the ball in the box a lot towards the end. But having said that, we did create ourselves some chances as well.